Hello and welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for choosing to live now today. I am super excited. Can you tell? I'm extremely animated today. Let me tell you why. Why? Is because we're about to start a brand new series. And this series, I can't wait to tell you about in just a moment. But first, let's go to our intro. Again, welcome back to Choosing to Live Now. My name is Taneshia, and today I'm super excited to meet with you because we are about to start a brand new series. And this series is going to be focused on our identity, knowing who we are, and using this knowledge so that we can prepare to live our best life possible. So just a little bit of a recap, because if you know me by now, you know I love a recap, but I'm gonna try to keep it super brief. So in our last series, we really talked about the very fundamental components that we need in order for us to begin living our best life now in 2022 and beyond. And we talked about the importance of us acknowledging the fact that we've experienced losses in our previous years and in our life. We also talked about the importance of, after we have acknowledged our losses, that we go through our grief process. And then our last discussion was really important to me, and that was about forgiveness. Yes, I know. It was intense for me, okay? If you didn't watch it yet, please take a moment, go back and watch it. I'm gonna tell you why. It's very intentional, and I feel like it's very thoughtful and meaningful, and we all need it. And at the end of all of those things, what did I share with you? Do you remember? It's okay. You don't have to remember, I'll tell you. The main idea is that if we can learn those three components, acknowledging our loss, processing our grief, and forgiveness, we will have the most successful life ever. Why? Because we're always going to go through things. We're always going to lose stuff. We'll always have something to grieve. And we're always going to have something or someone to forgive. And if we can remember that in our lives, we will live a free life, not in bondage in any way. So now we're free, okay? Let's take it from this next step. We are free, my friends. How does it feel? I feel good. Can you tell? I feel so good. But here's the thing. I got a question for you. I have a question for you. Who are you? I know. You're probably like, Taneshia, come on. What do you mean? Who am I? I'm really serious. Who are you? Do you know who you are? What makes up who you are? Have you ever stopped to consider who you are? I know. It's an interesting question. I get it. I can just hear you out there in the land wondering, this is a no-brainer. And the first thing that comes to mind is probably, my name is ... I live at ... My parents are ... I am connected to ... And all of those things are aspects that deal with who we are. But my question is, who are you? What makes you you? This is what we're going to be discussing today. We're going to really be exploring what identity is. And before I give you a formal definition of what identity is, I really want to kind of go back through a little bit of a review of what we learned in biology. So what is something that we know? We know that we are the sum total of our mother and our father. We share chromosomes with each of them, our biological mothers, our biological fathers. whether we know who they are or not. We share chromosomes with them. So as a result of that, through heredity, we will inherit attributes and characteristics of who they are in general. And we blend them together, and ta-da, we have this fantastic, amazing cocktail that is us. So is that who we are? And then, wait, after we do that, we have our life experiences, ... all the things that we go through. And we develop our identity usually, or begin playing around with our identity in early adolescence. I know I'm such a psychologist, but look, just go with me. Really, I'm going to go to a good place. So we start developing our identity in early adolescence, and it becomes a bit more concrete in our early adult life, when we really have an opportunity to take some of these identities that we've tried on from early adolescence all the way up into early adulthood, and the ones that stuck and that really seem to be most cohesive with our own ideas is the one we stayed with. But then I ask you, now that we know that, is that who we are? Who are we, and what makes us who we are? That's my question on the table for you today. Put it in the comments when you think about that. When I asked the question, who are you? What was your first reaction when you heard that? Now, you know me. Listen, I'm a whole researcher over here, so I'm going to give you some formal definitions, because I don't want it to seem like the constructs that I'm sharing with you are just coming out of the side of my head, but they have some sort of theoretical research base to them. So I am still with my American Psychological Association for the definition of identity. And I'm going to warn you, it's a mouthful, but it's important. So I'm going to give you pieces of the definition that really capture their idea of what identity is. And here's what they say. They say that identity is an individual's sense of self defined by a set of physical, psychological, and interpersonal characteristics that is not wholly shared with any other person, and a range of affiliations. And they give an example like ethnicity and social roles. They go a little bit further to say this: identity involves a sense of continuity. I like that word, continuity. Or the feeling that one is the same person today that one was yesterday or last year, despite their physical or other changes. What do you think about that? Are you the same person that you've always been? Are you living as your true self? Whew. That's a good one, right? Let me ask you that again. Should I say it for the people in the back? I'm going to say it for the people on the side. All right. Are you living as your true self? Yeah. Think about that. Are you living as your true self? So, I know, as I shared, the definition was very heavy. But what then makes us who we are? So we talked about what we know from biology and our social constructs. And you know what I've come to find throughout my journey? What makes us who we are is one construct. And I'm going to share it with the CFVT. The CFVT is what makes us who we are. You ready for it? It is our core fundamental values of truth. That is what makes us who we are. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. Okay? Here we go. Our core fundamental values of truth is what make us who we are. Do you know what that is? I'm going to tell you. What our core fundamental values of truth are what we believe in, what anchors us, and what we stand for. That's really what makes us who we are. We are what anchors us, what holds us in place. Yes, we are 100% the sum total of our mother and father. Yes, we are a product of the environments that we were raised in. While we may not be identical to those environments help to shape our concept of the world and how we interact with others. And when we say please and thank you, if we say it at all, it challenges or teaches us rather how to, whether it's in a positive or negative way, how to think about money, how to think about self-care and how we manage our lives and raise our children and have relationships with intimate partners and our friends. Absolutely. Our social construct influences us in so many ways. But my friend, what makes us who we are is the CFVT, our core fundamental values of truth. What do we believe in? And you might be asking, why do you keep talking about this construct? Why are you drilling it in over and over again? Great question. Here's why. Because what I have found from working in a clinical setting with individuals who are going through different challenges in their life, struggling in their mental health, and their ability to be resilient is really all based on the CFVT of their life, their core fundamental values of truth. If a person is unsure of who they are, what anchors them, what they stand for, they struggle because they have nothing to hold on to except for the experiences that they've gone through in their life and the parents that they came from. That's all they have. They have nothing else to hold on to. And as a result of that, they are unstable because they don't know what to do when the things that they're used to are changed. So when there's a bunch of change that goes on for them, like, I'm still talking about the global health crisis because we're still in the middle of it. Can I tell you? And it's a doozy. Just the news today was a piece of work. I won't even get into that because it's not as important as focusing on your identity and making sure that you and I are clear on what the construct means, right? So there are people who, when they don't know who they are, and you think about this crisis that we're going through, they struggle the most in their mental health because they have no anchor, nothing to hold on to. They do not have anything other than their experiences and the family they know they came from. Is this you today, friend? Is it? Do you know who you are? What anchors you to be resilient? See, resilience is not just a construct that is a puff of smoke in the air. You hear people talk about trauma and the importance of resilience. Resilience is based on something. It's based on core fundamental values of truth that keep an individual grounded when life is unstable. And we've been talking about this for the last 4 episodes, that life is going to throw us uncertainties over and over again. And we need an anchor. We need a clear understanding of who we are, what we stand for, what we will take, what we will not take, what we hope to accomplish, who we hope to be. We need that. So then you might be asking the question, well, how do I develop it? I mean, I think I know, but I'm not sure. That's also a great question. And to that answer, I would say you can develop it in various ways. For some, your core fundamental value of truth is going to be based on your faith, regardless of what that faith is. You could follow Islam, you could follow Christianity, you could follow Buddhism, you could follow Taoism. There are so many different religious sects that you can follow that all have this core fundamental value of truth. And why that core is valuable is because when things are up and down, you, again, what did we say earlier? You have something to hold on to. When you don't understand, when there's no family around, your faith can really be an amazing anchor. For me, faith is everything. I am a believer. I am a Christian. I believe in that construct of thinking. And in that mindset for me, I know who I am. Who I am is wrapped into my core fundamental value of truth that I follow based on scripture, which lets me know that I am a child of God. And me being a child of God means that I have unlimited potential, that I have opportunity to tap into, as long as I'm tapped into my Father. That's my core value of truth. And so because of that, I'm able to love people and treat them with respect and care about them and be concerned about them and stand up for righteousness and justice for people who are being treated badly, especially those who are in marginalized populations. I'm really passionate about that, but it is based on my core value of truth, and I get it from a religious space. Another way to realize your core value of truth is really looking at all of the circumstances that you've gone on through in your entire life, right? And using those experiences as a guide. This was positive about my journey, and I want to continue doing this. This, however, was negative, and because I had a negative experience here, I want to change that experience into something different. So you making a conscious effort to be different based on what you've experienced. That's another way to find your core value of truth, because the way you're doing it in that way is you're kind of mapping out your own journey. You're creating your own ideas of what truth is based on what you've experienced. For example, if you did not experience kindness from others, you may want to give kindness to others. You want to be the opposite of what you've seen. If you were mistreated, you want to treat everybody with equity. You make the decision to be better than what you've gone through. Or I've been treated so well, I want to take these characteristics, these strategies, and use them for my life. And this is what I stand on. These are my principles. This is who I am. So those are two very easy ways, maybe not so easy, but two ways that you are able to determine your core fundamental values of truth. So I challenge you this week. Ask yourself that question. Who am I? Who am I? What do I stand for? What do I believe in? What will I take? What will I not take? And here's another question. Based on what I've come up with about my core fundamental value of truth, am I in relationships? Am I in jobs? Am I in circumstances right now that are in direct violation of who I am on the inside? Here's another question. Have I become a variant of who I am so that I can dumb myself down for the environment that I'm a part of? Let me say that one more time for the people in the back. Have I become a variant of my real self to accommodate the people I'm around? Have you ever heard this? I've heard my husband say this before, and it makes me laugh so hard. He said that sometimes you can work in an environment so long and play dumb so that you can, get along in the environment that when you wake up one day, you actually realize that you are dumb. Now listen, I don't know if that's true or not, but it is hilarious to think about it. And I want you to think about that as it relates to identity. Are you able to be your true self in the environments that you've been in? What parts of yourself are you letting die that should be living so that you can get along in the environment that you're in so that you can get a promotion. And let me ask you a question. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? I would challenge you and say, no, it's not worth it. Because even if you get a moment of satisfaction because you have made a variant of yourself to make other people feel good, you yourself internally are dying. You become dormant. And all of the wonder and the splendor that makes you different and unique and amazing and creative, it does not live because you're choosing notoriety, money, a position, sometimes even making the peace over your own well-being. And your identity, my friend, matters. It matters because you were created as a unique individual who has something to offer the earth. It could just be your warm smile, your warm handshake, your encouraging words. It could be your art. It could be your gift, your talent, whatever you have in this world. But when you're unable to be your true self, you end up making variants of yourself over and over and over again. So much so that you become completely confused and you don't even know who you are. And let's not even talk about self-care. Because in my opinion, the core of self-care is identity checking. Yeah. I made up a term. I did. But I believe in it. Identity checking. Is what I am involved in my life, is it consistent with what I believe? And if it's not, how do I make strategic steps to get out of a place that causes me not to live as my best self now? Because here's the thing, my friend. I don't care what we experience, what we see in 2022. We have to preserve the core fundamental truths that make us who we are. They will anchor us and hold us tight on a cold night. When we remember who we are and what our purpose is and why we're living and why we're doing what we're doing, it gives us a different perspective, a different reason to get up in the morning. So identity is everything. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the next days to come. And we're going to talk about it in different variations. Listen, I want to thank you so much for joining the conversation today. And I want to tell you this today. I believe in you, friend. I really do. I really, really, really do. I want to let you know that you are not alone. I am here with you. This is a community. I know that things have been difficult, but we are going to get through this together. If you like the content that we have shared so far, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. We would love, love, love more family members to join our conversation, more friends to be a part of our community. Thank you so much for logging in today to hear our beginning conversation.